It's nearly dark, and you hear the bear walking in the brush, and then in the water, and you know he's close. As a hunter, there's nothing quite like pursuing an animal that when you look him in the eyes, all you see is the best adventure that Alaska has to offer. The real deal. It's pure, and nothing else can replace it. It's what my clients pay to see and experience. And this week, it's all about Larry Owen and his lifelong quest to take an Alaskan brown bear. Second leg of our journey. We'll catch our Pen Air flight out to Dillingham. Gotta take the shuttle up to the airport.
We're tired, we're groggy, it's 6 in the morning, and we have a couple more flights to catch, mainly the most important one being from Anchorage to Dillingham. And you just know that you're walking into a storm with 16 checked bags.
One of the challenges that we face every time we travel somewhere is the sheer volume of gear that we have to take with us. Every piece of that equipment has a job to do, a function. If we don't get there with all of the equipment that we need, then we shouldn't even bother going. I mean, I guess this is something I need to bring up. If all my bags aren't gonna make it, I don't know that I wanna go. I mean, I'm not like playing. Without this gear, we can't work, and if we're not gonna work, I ain't going. Like I said, I'm gonna advise them right back that if I can't get it all on there, I want all my bags back, and I'll charter a plane or something and go to Dillingham. If I'd have known where they weren't gonna make it, I would have made other arrangements.
When you made 12 reservations, did you tell them they love bags?
Yes. Alaska Airlines said that nope. I know, but I booked through Alaska Airlines.
Yeah, I got a call.
No.
Well, this is frustrating because I know how hard we worked as a team to show up prepared and organized, and now the airport's messing with that.
After over an hour of waiting, the friendly staff at Pen Air was finally able to guarantee that all of our bags and all of our camera gear was going to get on that flight to Dillingham.
All the electronic devices to be turned off for the sofa landing. We'll be on the ground at Dillingham in about 10 minutes. Thank you.
Dillingham is a small Alaskan community located on Nushagak Bay in southwestern Alaska. It cannot be accessed by road, only by air or sea, and it is the regional hub of the Bristol Bay Salmon Fishing District, which supports the largest runs of wild sockeye salmon. Commercial fishing and the many sport fishing lodges are an important part of the Dillingham economy, as are the many big game hunters who venture here each fall in search of moose and brown bear. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Super Hides by Marathon Seat Covers. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Caldwell Shooting Supplies. Innovation defined, accuracy anywhere. You had to pick up David Hill haven't heard it yet other than it got hit. I don't think the float plane company had any idea how much equipment we were going to be flying in with. And in Alaska, when you're flying in bush planes, weight is everything. They weigh everything. If you're over that amount, you've got to buy another airplane. That's exactly what happened. It took 2 flights in a Beaver to get us and all of our equipment into Bear Camp. When you've come this far, and there are still miles to go, the anticipation builds inside of you. Teamwork makes the dream work, and as our pilot ran his pre-flight, my excitement grew even more. And as the Beaver's engine roared to life, I finally felt some relief, knowing that at long last, we are on our way. Bear Camp. We barely cleared the end of the pond. That's how critical weight is. Our pilot, he's the ultimate professional. And he knows the limitations of his airplane. But another 200 pounds and we probably wouldn't have made it. That's how critical weight is. Once we had taken off and cleared the pond, I felt like the weight of the world had been lifted off my shoulders. I didn't have to worry about the airlines or the weight of my bags or travel. I didn't have to worry about anything. I could just sit back and relax and enjoy the scenery and this super soft ride. There was no wind. The scenery was beautiful. And then we came over the hill and got to a lake, a place that I'd been and I'd missed for far too long. And before I knew it, that flight was over all too soon, and we were in Bear Camp. Lars, how are you? When we arrived in camp, we were greeted by our guide Lars Kessler and my client, Larry Owen. It never seems like work to unload hundreds of pounds of hunting and camera gear when you're doing it in a place as scenic and beautiful as the Alaskan wilderness. Once the float planes departed, reality set in. Now, we were just 5 guys on a mission to hunt Alaska's apex predator, the brown bear. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Burris Optics. Find what matters. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Tribe One Outdoors and their innovative products.
After commercial and private flights traveling thousands of miles from Oregon to the Alaskan wilderness, Steve and his crew are ready to start hunting. But first, they need to check the zero on their guns.
What we're doing is shooting the rifles. You know, that rifle and my muzzleloader. Check the zero. I mean, we just traveled hundreds of miles, multiple airplane flights, you know, cars, on a float plane. Things get banged around. Check the zero. Make sure the gun's still on before you go out and start putting lead in an animal. That's a surefire way to make sure that you don't end up sending something off into the bushes that's wounded. Especially critical with a brown bear. All right, I'm gonna load up the muzzleloader.
Client Larry Owen is using Steve's personal Bergara custom rifle. It's chambered in .338 Winchester Magnum and topped with a Burris Eliminator 3 laser scope. Steve's favorite gun for brown bear hunting.
This is a big lake. 10-foot Zodiac boats with 10-horse motors. Let's just say I'm glad we had some life jackets. Well, it's our first night here in Alaska. Because we flew in today, I can't hunt. But Larry was able to get into camp yesterday. So the game plan tonight is that we're gonna go over, hit a couple of spots. We're gonna set up a trail camera at the mouth of a creek where Lars has seen a big track. Hopefully we can get a pattern on that bear, figure out how to hunt him. Then we're gonna climb up on a hill and we're gonna watch some river bottom and some lake shore. Hopefully we can pick up a bear tonight, or at least figure out kind of where they're hanging out. We're gonna get the Zodiacs out there and across the lake. Let's do it. This lake is several miles long and very wide. It's a large body of water for small boats. And while it's a lot faster than walking, it takes a long time to get anywhere. And if the wind comes up, it can get dangerous. Something we find out later in our hunt. He's staying. See how he's staying in the water? You try to keep everything off the beach as much as you can for scent purposes. But all these fish, I mean, there's probably, what, 2,000 sockeye sitting here. You know, they go clear out into the water as far as you can see till they go deep. That's what these bears want. Well, they're going up this little stream right here. This is where we've always put up trail cameras when we come here. See if a bear's operating in the area, see if he's coming at night, see if he's working during the day. Anything we can possibly learn, we're gonna learn from that camera when we're not here. But so he's gonna take her and tie it up. That's where Ian will take the other boat. But I mean, like I said, you wanna watch your voice because there could be bears just like 100 feet into these trees right here. And that's why he's trying to be, you know, pretty quiet and everything so that we can put it up the creek. Been a lot of bears working this creek. We're gonna go up and find his track and try and figure out where this bear's hanging out, what he's doing. Just a lot of things. There's a lot of things we need to learn about this bear if we're gonna be successful in taking him. This camera's gonna do all the smart work for us. I mean, all of it. This is how you hunt smart, not hard. After we set up the trail camera, we backed out. Careful not to leave any scent on the shoreline, got into the boats and went 2 miles back up the lake shore. Here we would climb to the top of the hillside, where we could not only see the mouth of the creek where the trail camera was set up, but all of the creek bottom and valley where the bear was living. Our plan was to get high and glass long. We hadn't been on top of the hill 2 minutes when we heard a bear crashing through the water chasing fish below us. And it didn't take long for Lars and I to spot the bear and decide that we had better move in for a closer look.
Chunky. Thick bear's right there at the turn in the tree. That's a go time bear right there. Nobody move real fast. Lars. Going for it. I told you I heard cubs.
It was a mature bear, but when we closed the distance, we could see that it was a sow. And if we can help it, we don't shoot sows. And a few seconds later, we spotted her 2 cubs on the river's edge following the trail and learning from Mom how to fish. That night ended without another bear sighting, but the hunt was off to an amazing start. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by CVA Muzzleloaders. It's just a better gun. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Camo Restore. Make your camo outerwear last a little bit longer. It is important to understand the role of salmon in the Alaskan ecosystem. Their journey alone is an amazing story. And this week, the spawning salmon would become a major factor in the success or failure of the hunt. After 2 more days of hunting and not seeing any bears, I decided to take a skiff, alone, over to the mouth of the creek to look for bear sign. By going alone, the boat would be faster, and I would also leave less trace that I was ever there. What I found was inspiring.
More good fish. And a lot more sockeye.
That's what's left of a bear dinner there. Nice sockeye head. All of his tracks coming right down through the sand. Here. He came right out of there, probably. He came right around the back of the bay last night, or early this morning. He's tired. All he knows is that instinct he has to swim up this stream and spawn. And then he's gonna become bear food, seagull food, and part of earth. Come on, buddy, let's find another one. A lot of sockeye in here. This is the mother lode right here. We've been sitting at the top of the hill back up there, and this creek goes in and winds up. And we're glassing everything about anywhere from 2 to 6 miles up this stream. But now I'm sitting down here and I'm looking at fresh 8 fish over there, probably from last night or the night before. All the grass is matted down. I got more bear tracks in the gravel. I got more dead fish in the creek. I got live fish in the creek. I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna look on the bank. I'm gonna do a little checking up this stream, see if we can't find some more fresh bear sign, because right now this looks to me like there's bears coming down here after dark and they're fishing this. So And be careful as I go up the creek. Sometimes these bears are laying just inside the brush line. I didn't bring a gun out with me because I was just going to work the shoreline. I can't kill a bear without a guide legally. But I thought I would come down here and do a little bit of checking. This is something else. A lot of bear sign right here in the gravel. This is very promising. Goes in right there. I've seen what I need to see. Let's get out of here. I feel better about being here when I've got a gun. Now that I knew the bears were on the creek, I got back to camp, and Lars and I decided that our best course of action was to go back, climb up on a knob that overlooked the river bottom, and glass until it was dark. Hopefully, these nocturnal bears would move a little earlier, now that there were more fish than ever in the river. It's hard to say what I love most about hunting. But when you become tuned into the surroundings and those that you're hunting with, there's a special kind of unspoken understanding of teamwork and camaraderie. As the sun set on another day, we were not discouraged by the lack of bear sightings. Proof of their existence littered the shorelines and riverbanks. We knew that they were there, and we all felt like it was just a matter of time before we crossed paths with a big Bruin. And tomorrow is another day. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Bergara Rifles. Our barrels make the difference. Get the new Steve's Outdoor Adventures app for your smartphone or tablet. New features include an expanded selection of videos and the all-new bragging board, where through the app you can upload your photos and share your hunting stories. And winners are selected weekly and receive sponsor gear as prizes. When you're in charge, you're responsible for everyone. No questions asked. That's right. They actually crossed like last time. Against better judgment, we're going to go out there and we're going to try and get around the point. It's blowing 40, 50 miles an hour here today. Big waves on the lake, so we're not going to be able to go back where we were last night. We're actually going to try and cut the corner over here and get up the river to a spot where we took a big bear about 3 years ago. But man, even that's going to be sketchy at best. You know, we've got these 12-foot Zodiacs with 10-horse motors on them. There's not a lot of power there, but we're going to do our best to get around the corner. Hopefully we'll get in there safe and sound. If it gets too sketchy, we're going to turn around and come back. That's the most protected, right?
Neither one of them is protected.
From this?
Yeah, this all blows straight into it.
What do you think about going out in this stuff, Larry? About to go out here around the point. And what I thought was a 12-foot Zodiac is really a 10-foot Zodiac. We're going into the teeth of a big storm. We had made it to the mouth of the river and then navigated our way up to the shallows where we tied up the boats. From here, we climbed up to the top of the hill and started glassing a larger river that was filled with spawning salmon and surrounded with hillsides that are normally covered in berries. Looking for bears and watching the spectacular storms blow through. Well, we've successfully got around the point and up the river. We stopped the boats just below here in the river and hiked up on the hill. We can see a couple miles of river, and that's where the bears are feeding on the fish, so I'd have to think we got a pretty good chance of spotting something tonight. Keep our fingers crossed. The storms cooled the valley, and finally, the bears came out to feed before dark. However, the only bears that we spotted were immature and small. But we're patient, and while the clock winds down on our hunt, we're confident that we will be successful.
This hillside, and this year there's hardly any berries on this mountain, and this little blueberry bush right here, there's absolutely nothing on it. And all these are usually full of little black crowberries and nothing. So we'll just focus on the fish.
Well, we didn't see much tonight, just a couple of small bears up the river feeding. We glassed, we tried, it just didn't work out. Now we gotta do that boat ride in reverse, take the wind right into our face, back up the river, turn the corner, and try and get back to camp before it gets too dark. So, oh shoot, they're already off the hill. I gotta hurry up and catch up. A few, but nothing big enough to do a chase. Well, we went up in there, climbed up on one of my favorite knobs, and we just saw a couple of bears. That was it. Not much activity. There's no berries on the hills. Lots of fish in the river, but just immatures tonight. There's some bigger ones in there. We just got to keep hunting. Tomorrow's a whole new day. Maybe the weather will be a little bit better. We'll go put all my gear away, get some dry clothes on, have some supper. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Camo Restore. Make your camo outerwear last a little bit longer. A wise guide in Alaska once told me that brown bear hunting was 99% boredom and 1% sheer terror and excitement. And after hunting brown bears for the last 20 years, that may be the most true statement I've ever heard. I like this spot. When you're spending hours each day sitting on a hill, glassing the vast Alaskan wilderness, it's easy to get lazy, but you have to be ready to go from 0 to 60 faster than a sports car. And that's just what happened when a wolf suddenly appeared. As quickly as the wolf disappeared into the bush, a small bear appeared downriver. And as quickly as he appeared, the wolf disappeared into the Alaskan bush. There are thousands of wolves that live in Alaska, and in this unit, you can shoot 10 a day without a tag. But you could go your whole life and never see one, much less get a shot at one because they're so elusive. At the end of the day, we had seen a small bear with golden ears that we called Fozzie, and the sow with her 2 cubs again fishing up the river. But the big bears were staying nocturnal. It was time to take our game to the next level. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Super Hides by Marathon Seat Covers. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Caldwell Shooting Supplies. Innovation defined, accuracy anywhere.
The bottom of the 9th.
Bottom of the 9th, yep. 10th day. Fat lady be singing tonight.
You never know. It's not the bottom of the 9th, it's like the top of the 9th.
Top of it.
It's the top of the 9th. The left arm.
It's not over till it's over.
I'm going to take a quick run up the river, see if we can't find some fresh bear sign. A few days back there wasn't anything in there, just a couple of itty bitty bears I guess, but today we decided we want to get up in there and maybe see if any of the bears are pounding the river banks, look for the grass knocked down, look for some dead fish, you know, some bear sign, something that says that the bears are starting to use the river. And while we're there, maybe get a little cast and blast in, try and catch some rainbow and char, hook a salmon or 2, and get ready for the evening bear hunt. But hopefully there's some bear activity up that river. It's top of the 9th, 1 out, 2 to go. Let's roll. If there's one thing that Lars and I came to the conclusion of over those first 9 days was that the bears had become very nocturnal. So with 1 day left to go in the hunt, we decided to go back up the river to the place where we had found the most bear sign, get up on the hill, glass, and stay there until it was pitch dark. Fish parts, they're ripped up, all the grass is down, everything's different. Everything. Look at all the fish parts over there on that bank. Yeah, just thousands of sockeye, thousands. Back here, man. Here. These are big. The big fruit people. Bear City right here. Should have came back 4 or 5 days ago. Damn. Go back upstream and hide the boats around the corner. Just set up our ambush. The last hours of this hunt flew by, and every minute that ticked off the clock, I became more and more concerned that Larry wasn't going to get an opportunity at a bear. Never mind that I hadn't had a chance to even hunt for myself. I was concerned for my client. And as the sun set and the camera light faded, the bears came out to play. And we spotted them on the riverbank, and we all sprung into action.
In the last hour, probably about 45 minutes of light left. We're dropping down about 250 feet. This is our last chance, our last play on the last night of the hunt. Do everything we can to get Larry a bear. Everything.
We knew it was going to be close, and because 5 people make more scent and noise than 3, it was logical that Steve and I stayed a few hundred yards behind. Steve's golden rule is we never prioritize filming a client's hunt over the success of their hunt.
During the final stalk, in the seconds before you pull the trigger, you feel the intensity of the moment, and you realize that this feeling you're having is why you hunt. This segment of the Adventure Series is sponsored by Tribe One Outdoors and their innovative products. If you'd like to book your own guided big game hunting adventure, give my office a call. I will personally take your calls, answer your questions, and help you book the hunting or fishing trip of a lifetime.
Ian and I stayed behind. Right here at dark, a couple of bears came out on the river. Both of them were adult male bears. One was dark chocolate, one was blondish colored. You know, it's a lot of shooting. There's a lot of shooting. That's like the 10th shot. I don't know how many shots it's gonna take. They're in an Old West shootout down there with this bear. God, that could be trouble. Yeah, it might be. I don't know. Gotta pray for the best. Oh, man. It's not good. Not good at all. If we got a boogie, we might have to boogie. They're lighting this bear up, man. Must have been a charge. Had to have been a charge. That was intense, dude. That was super intense. Holy crap. I think Larry just got his first grizzly bear. On the last minute of the last light on the last day of the hunt.
What do you think, Larry?
Oh, that's fantastic. Boy, I tell you.
It was really
Took enough shots. I have enjoyed every minute of it. That's the truth. Every minute of this, since I've landed, I've enjoyed every minute. I haven't had a bad time. If I hadn't shot this bear tonight, I went home happy anyway. But, you know, glad to have it for sure, but it's all about the hunt. You know, and we had a hunt. You know, we had a good 7-day or 10-day hunt. Walking up the river, and this bear stepped out on the shoreline. Just about dark. You just barely see, and just enough shooting light. And I shot. Lars backed up, and World War III started. I think we shot about 10 shots before it finally died. Didn't go anywhere. Shot it right there on the bank. So pretty exciting walking up the creek in the dark. Bears on the shoreline. Unbelievable. It just wouldn't
Sounded
stop.
like World War II, man.
It wouldn't stop.
Well, it doesn't get any more exciting than this. The last minute, the last hour, the last day of a 10-day bear hunt here in Alaska, and Larry got his first grizzly. This is a beautiful brown bear.
It's a little exciting, to say the least.
Well, from where we were at, it sounded like an Old West shootout. You know, it sounded like you and Lars were having to pour the coals to it to get her stopped. So,
Yeah, the first shot hit it, and Lars followed right up, and then the bear went down, but didn't stay down. Jumped back up again, and it happened like that 2 or 3 times. Finally, the bear didn't go anywhere. Just rolled off the edge of the bank here into the river.
you know, that's the type of adventure that, you know, I can honestly say you got your money's worth, because you literally used every second of 10 full days of hunting to fill the tag. And obviously down here on the river, when the salmon are spawning and the bears are walking the shorelines and they're coming in right before dark, it just adds to the excitement of the entire adventure.
So I've had a blast all 10 days. It's been nothing but fun.
Well, the hunting's been a little bit slow because we don't have a berry crop this year, but obviously there are a lot of fish. And we were in here 7 days ago and didn't see this kind of activity or this kind of sign. We came in here earlier today to just kind of scout it, and we were actually going to do a little bit of fishing. As soon as we saw this bear sign, we pulled off the river, we climbed up on the hill, and we've been sitting up there for 9.5 hours waiting for something to happen, and it literally happened last second, or the last minute, or the last hour of the last day of this hunt. Once again, congratulations, Larry.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
You did a heck of a great job here tonight. And,
Thank you.
well, as you can see, we've got a lot of work to get done. It's already after 11 o'clock, and we've got a couple hours of work. We've got to get it all skinned out, loaded up in the boat, and we've got a long ways to go to get back to camp. But every second of it's going to be worth it, because everything in Alaska is uphill and heavy and hard work. So let's get to it. Larry had got his bear. We'd achieved our ultimate goal. Our client was successful, and we'd all done our jobs and put forth a maximum effort. And now we get to jump on an airplane and head out to Homer, Alaska, where I'm going to be on my own personal mountain goat hunt. But that's another story for another day and next week's exciting episode of the Adventure Series.